So first, welcome to 1 Million Cups this morning. We have a big day. For those of you that don't know, there's a donut wall over there. So that's pretty incredible. We're celebrating a lot today. First, it's our fourth, not anniversary, oh my gosh, it's our fourth birthday. So we're really excited. We have some incredible guests today from communities all across the U.S. that are putting on 1 Million Cups in their cities. So, I mean, we have people from Riverside, California, Fort Worth, Fort Dallas, Fort Wayne, pretty much all the forts represented. So it's going to be a really incredible morning. Thank you, Chris Foster, for the great music. That always sets the scene nicely. And also, we're going to share with you a quick video for our fourth birthday. Hit it, Dave.
We're recording. No, we're recording. We're recording. Oh, it's perfect. Perfect. So perfect.
Okay. Welcome to 1 Million Cups, Lincoln.
Welcome to 1 Million Cups!
Okay, well, thank you, and welcome to 1 Million Cups, Kent County.
Welcome to 1 Million Cups, Salt Lake City!
Welcome to 1 Million Cups, Virginia Beach.
Welcome to 1 Million Cups, Appleton.
Welcome to 1 Million Cups, Missoula. I said it all.
Good morning and welcome to 1 Million Cups Syracuse. We are super excited to get started. I hope you're all well caffeinated.
Good morning from Tacoma.
Live from Bozeman, it's 1 Million Cups.
Welcome to 1 Million Cups, Yankton.
Welcome to 1 Million Cups, Research Triangle Park.
To 1 Million Cups Boise, our inaugural event.
Hi, welcome to 1 Million Cups, Orlando.
Hosted at Rollins College campus.
It's a beautiful place. Check it out for yourself. Check it out. Check it out.
Welcome to 1 Million Cups, Puerto Rico. Good morning, Yankton.
Grab a cup of coffee and take a seat.
Grab a cup of coffee.
And take a seat. Grab a cup of coffee and
Take a seat.
Grab a cup of coffee and
take a seat. Sit down and hold on. We're on an entrepreneurial journey.
Is anybody here for the first time? Welcome.
Let's open it up for questions!
Let's open it up for questions.
How do you make money?
Tell us more about your entrepreneurial journey.
Who is your customer?
How do you differentiate yourself?
What is your revenue model?
What can we as a community do for you?
What can we as a community do to help you?
What can we as a community do to help you?
Happy anniversary, 1 Million Cups.
Happy anniversary for 1 Million Cups, Savannah. Happy anniversary, 1 Million Cups. Happy anniversary from Virginia Beach. Happy anniversary from Delaware, Texas, 1 Million Cups, Kent County. Woo!
Happy anniversary from 1 Million Cups, Colorado Springs, home of the beautiful Pikes Peak.
happy anniversary from Yankton.
Happy anniversary, 1 Million Cups from RTP.
Happy
Anniversary.
from Missoula.
Happy anniversary, 1 Million Cups from Lincoln, 1 Million Cups.
To research,
Happy anniversary, 1 Million.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining us.
See you next week.
Thank you for coming. We'll see you next week in Missoula, Montana.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Caffeinating the entrepreneurial community, 1 cup of coffee at a time.
Okay. That was cool. And also a big thanks to Catherine, Brad, and Jordan. There are people over here, our Kaufman crew, that helps make all of this possible, so they're awesome. So we have our KC organizers, myself, Milton, Courtney, Stephanie, and Zach. So we're excited to have you guys here this morning. And we're going to introduce our expert panelists now. We've got Mr. Grant Gooding and the beautiful and fabulous Laura Stewart. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Is it on? Is it on? Is it on? Oh, Grant said to say I own a technology company. Good morning. Happy anniversary. Thinking about how I could be on the 1 Million Cups Puerto Rico panel right now. If we could make that happen, that would be great. I'm excited about the two businesses that are going to be pitching today. My name's Laura. I pitched here a couple weeks ago. I'm an entrepreneur now with a company called Video Fizz, which is a mobile app that makes it easy to create group video greetings. But prior to that, I spent 17 years as an executive, lastly at GE, running a genomic sequencing business and an oncology clinical trials company, which of course is going to come in very handy running a tech company. So here's Grant.
Good morning, Grant Gooding. I'm Laura's personal assistant. I was founder of a company called Proof Positioning. We help entrepreneurs position their brands by knowing, not guessing. Our company uses consumer insights and mathematics to help companies figure out how they're positioned in their market. My background's in mergers and acquisitions, so that is all.
Fantastic. So we're going to kick the morning off with our first presenter. We have LaDonna here with 21 ways to say thank you.
Thank you, Ann, and thank you, 1 Million Cups Kansas City. It's so great to be a part of this 4th birthday celebration this morning. I'm from Springfield, Missouri, and I've been around, this is my 4th one. I've been to Tampa, to Tulsa, at different 1 Million Cups, and it's always exciting and fun to be with a group of entrepreneurs such as yourselves. And we have Kauffman Foundation here to thank for that. So I'm going to take a little bit of my time now to let's give them a round of applause in gratitude. Because they're helping to make America great. Well, since I shared with you that I've been to a lot of 1 Million Cups, there's always little glitches. This morning we're going great, but you know, things happen in life. Stuff happens. You can't control everything, but what you can control is your attitude and how you handle the situation. And that's where we can help out. Our organization, 21 Reasons to Say Thank You, is dedicated to helping people discover the power of gratitude in their lives and act on it. I've been, 14 months ago, I was laid off from my job of 25 years of fundraising, helping nonprofits raise funds from high wealth donors. That could have been a downturn in my career, but instead I decided to pursue the things in life that I really enjoy, and I would encourage all of you to do the same. I think that's why a lot of you are here. I decided to continue helping others, but include speaking and writing in my career. Over my career, I've written and received thousands of thank you notes. I've taught people how to show gratitude. I've experienced the power of grateful living in my life, and I knew what this can do for people, what a positive outlook does. But I discovered that there were studies that had been done over the past 15 years. When I started doing my research for my writing, I discovered all these wonderful things that had been proven, so I could actually get the attention of corporations and people, because these are proven statistics. They're just not my empirical studies. So here's some things that I wanted to share with you that I learned. Better health, happier, longer life. 10% fewer stress-related illnesses if you live gratefully. You can lower your blood pressure by 12%. You'll sleep better, you'll be more connected to others. You can add 7 years to your life. And you're more cooperative, you're more likable, you have a positive outlook, and let's not forget the best, you have a better love life. It's true, it's been proven. Wonder how they did that study. You can also earn 7% more income, which equates to approximately $280,000 in your lifetime. Think what you could do with that, and it's very simple to do. Just live gratefully. You reach more of your goals, you're more productive, you are more generous. You give 20% more of your time and your money if you are grateful. Add that to a brighter future for kids, 20% more likely to get A's. That equates to scholarships, better schools, and they make better choices if your kids live gratefully. They're 10 times less likely to start smoking, get in fewer fights, and they're more engaged with the family. So you put all these together, and you have 21 reasons to live gratefully. And that's just the beginning, because it doesn't stop at home. It carries on over into your business. So if you're a business owner or starting a business, start with gratitude, because all these things will increase and you'll have a stronger company and a stronger bottom line. The number one reason that people leave an organization is because they don't feel appreciated. In this study, what is the most important thing that your manager or company currently does or could do that causes you or would cause you to produce outstanding work? Appreciation. 37% recognize me, appreciate me. So simple. So that's why we came up with a gratitude kit, because anyone can increase their gratitude. It's not genetic. Anyone can do it. All you have to do is make the choice. You can choose to put down your cell phone and carry on a conversation with that person across the table from you. Enjoy a family dinner instead of a family phone session. You can enjoy life around you. Stop and actually absorb what you're doing when you're on vacation instead of getting so engaged in the selfies, or when you're at a museum. Put the phones away and enjoy the art. Or the other alternative is like this gal here. Do you mind if I strap your phone to my forehead so I can pretend you're looking at me when I talk? Ever feel like that? Well, again, for these reasons and more, we came up with a gratitude kit, and we're passing those around now so you can take a look. It's all in one box. You just flip open the magnetic gratitude flap, and inside you have all these items, all in one place. Because when I was learning about gratitude, I wanted to write a note. But by the time I gathered up all my things, because I kept thinking of all these people that I was grateful for in my life, and in my kids' life, and my family's life, but by the time I gathered up everything, the moment had passed. So I thought, let's put everything in one place. And let's include a book that's easy to read, that you don't have to go through all the theories and things. So I came up with a practical book that explains the benefits of gratitude and how you can add the power of gratitude to your life, why it's important and why you would want to do that, how you can do it. A lot of people don't know how to write a thank you note. So I give you 21 suggestions on who you might write to, including inspirational quotes, a journal to draft your note and the results of that note, plus some examples of thank you notes to help you get started or to get out of a rut. You also have a creative word list. So we have 3 kits available now. If you think of chicken soup for the soul, that's kind of like we're going to be gratitude for the soul. We're going to have 21 reasons to say thank you to a lot of different people, starting with to your employees. That's in some of the kits that are going around. And that's for leaders and executives. Then we have one for coworkers that can help you with your career, which may be dead in the water, or you may be out there rowing with one oar. But what you really want to do, and what we can help you do, is become part of the team and row so that everyone is rowing together. And it's a great item for high school graduates or people entering the workforce, college graduates. It's a great book to help them integrate into the workforce in a positive way and get ahead faster and earn that 7% more that I talked about earlier. We also have one for individuals and churches that we've used, 21 reasons to say thank you with a grateful heart. That will help you with those stressful relationships, either improve or mend them and lead a healthier life and improve your family life. In addition, we have a little business card size thank you that's called our mini thank you. On the front it says, you are one of my 21 reasons to say thank you. And on the back, you write what you're thanking them for. So you can leave it with your barista or your dry cleaner or whomever you see, even your family. Tape it to the mirror and start their day with a really bright ray of sunshine. We also customize these for businesses. We have 3 more kits that are coming out this year. One to finish up our corporate series for salespeople, 21 reasons to say thank you to your clients, one for nonprofits, and then one for kids. How many of you had your moms shove a thank you note in front of you and say, you're not getting up from this chair until you write a thank you note to your grandmother? Well, we want to make it, yeah, I see the hands, that's great. But it wasn't much fun, because that happened to me too. But we want to make it fun. We want to make it a family activity. So you'll have 21 ways, 21 reasons to write a thank you note that your kids will enjoy. They'll be asking you to do it again. In addition, we've added these items to add value to our product and to increase the gratitude in people's lives. How many of you are familiar with meetup groups? If you're not, yeah, we have a meetup group down in Springfield where I'm from. And I have a blog, we can customize the books and cards. I'm looking for speaking engagements. I'd love to come back to Kansas City. If you have a group that I could talk to, I would love to, because I really do want to spread the power of gratitude throughout the world, throughout the nation for sure, because it's so easy to do and it's so impactful. These are some of our accomplishments and some upcoming opportunities in the future. How many of you have been down to the Crystal Bridges down in Bentonville? Well, the next time you're down there, come on a Saturday and stop by the Bentonville Farmers Market and come see me. 2,000 to 10,000 people go through there a day, and we would love to see you there because we'll be there. We also have a couple of endorsements, one from the Senior Vice President of Human Resources at Delta, which I'm very proud of, and we also have some other things going on. So, in appreciation for all of you coming out today, we are offering a special 25% discount on the first 10 orders. You just go to 21reasonstosaythankyou.com and you enter the discount code 1MCKC. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak to you today, and I would love to have some questions.
We're going to start first with our expert panel. They're going to ask a couple of questions, and then we will open it up to the audience. So if you have a question, please raise your hand, and we will come around with a mic. Grant?
Thank you, LaDonna.
You're welcome.
That was saturating. I'm not sure I see the business here.
Okay.
Right? I mean, I feel like you're trying to convince me that I should live a more grateful life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is commendable. I think that's a great message. Mm-hmm. But it's similar to, you should be friendly, Grant, to people. You should be happy. And inherently, it lacks objectivity.
Okay.
Right? And I think that makes it difficult for people to grasp.
All right. Well,
so what am I buying?
Okay.
Right? I'm buying a kit. Yes. And the kit has, it has thank you cards in it. So like, from an objective perspective, our mind's trying to grasp, so I'm paying $30 for some nice thank you cards, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm.
Which they are nice. They're all
what's the value proposition that makes that worthwhile?
I understand what you're asking, and I do understand what you're saying. But you think about Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, some of those businesses. Everybody knows how to diet. Everybody knows they should diet. Everybody knows they should eat better. But how many people do it? Not very many, not as many without some help. So that's what I am. Everyone knows they want to be more thankful. They know how to write a thank you note. But how many of you in this room have received more than 10 thank you cards from someone other than a family member or as a result of a gift? Very few hands. Even though this is something that everyone knows would be beneficial, very few people do it. So kind of like a diet. We help you learn how to be more grateful. We help you apply that to your life.
So what's that catalytic moment? Because I feel like people that are already grateful, mm-hmm. right, that they'll gravitate towards this, but how is that really, so is that your target market? Are you trying to, because if you're trying to target people that don't do that, as you say, mm-hmm. wouldn't it make more, like a model might be you send them every month 3 thank you cards with specific instructions on people that they need to say thank you to, and that allows them to be proactive. Right? So like that's a business model I think would make sense to do that, but I guess, again, I'm struggling with the business.
Okay, the business, I'm talking to 4 corporations right now about adding it to their program because of what we all know. Some of them are trying it on their own, which you're right. I know a lot of people are going to try to do that. It's not being successful. You can ask your staff to write thank you notes, but unless someone is, I hate to use the word holding them accountable, but that's basically what it comes down to. Unless someone's there guiding them and encouraging them on a regular basis, they're probably not going to do it, even though it could help the business and it could help them personally. So we do have a program where we go in and we sit down with groups, starting out with the executives, and we sit down with them and talk about gratitude, encourage them, give them reasons to do it, and get them started on the program. And then I come back once a month or however often that the corporation wants me to, and we check in. So you don't want to be that person sitting at the table that says, I didn't write any thank you notes this week, you know, or this month, whatever. So that's one way that we're doing it. And plus, we do have the blog. I am considering doing an app to do something similar to what you suggested, to send it out to people. But as far as, and then once we get the leaders started on the program, we come in a few weeks later, 6 weeks, 8 weeks later, and start the coworkers, the other employees on the program. It's all voluntary, but hopefully they have seen the evidence and the results of receiving that. They felt that, and they are encouraged to do it themselves. It is a choice. It's not something that you can force. You have to be sincere about it. And maybe our goal is to have everyone write a thank you note every week, but you may not find someone that you want to write a thank you note that week. That's why we have the stories and the examples in here. If you don't, that's fine, but you've spent more time thinking about gratitude, and that's good.
Okay, LaDonna, I love anybody who gets up in the morning and works for what they're passionate at, so I congratulate you on that. I have a couple questions. How did you validate your business?
So be more specific for me,
How
please.
did you decide that this was something that customers would want, and how did you validate your idea to move forward with this as your enterprise?
Well, for one thing, there's nothing on the market like this that I could find. And I presented at 1 Million Cups in Missouri, in Springfield. And I have done some, not actual focus groups, but similar to focus groups, and found a lot of enthusiasm and encouragement for the product. And I have sold, and I've only been selling the kits since January, and I've already sold at least 50 kits and 100 books and card sets to churches. So I feel that there is a market, however small it may be. I think it can grow.
What does your ideal customer look like? So when you validated your business, and what you did was you talked about your business. That's a little bit different than validation.
Yes, that's
so true. Validation is you know that somebody wants it, and more importantly, you know they're going to pay for it. And that is a big step that a lot of people, including me, at a point in time forgot, right?
No, but that
so who's your ideal customer? Who's going to pay you for this?
Yes. Well, my ideal customer is, as the previous gentleman pointed out, someone who already realizes the need for gratitude or the benefits of gratitude. So I'm starting out with one of the businesses that I'm working with. They want to become the best business in Springfield, and that's their goal. So this is one way they're going to achieve that goal. I'm also working with the Chamber of Commerce in Springfield, and that, again, they want to be the best. So I'm working with people who already see the value and the need for this product, but they're having it's a challenge for them to implement it themselves. So I take that onus off of them, and I'm the one that checks in with the staff, and I'm the one that encourages, and I'm the one that helps them move it forward in their organization.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
It does. It does.
We're going to open it up to the audience, so please raise your hand with questions right here in the front.
Thank you. I think it's a great idea. However, I've one comment about your thing. You say grateful. Why not say thankful? It would make it consistent messaging. And then beyond that, you mentioned, you just said it right now, that these people have a hard time implementing it. How come, why don't you write the cards?
What now?
Why don't you write the cards? You charge them and you write the cards.
Because if I wrote the cards, that would negate the whole purpose, and that's increasing the gratitude in your life. When you take time to write a thank you note, you have to stop and think about who you're going to write it to, why you're going to thank them, what you're going to say to them, and how you're going to say it. And that's where you enrich your life personally, is through that experience. So if I wrote it for you, I'd get a good experience, but you wouldn't, and it wouldn't be the same.
And I would totally agree on like a personal level that would be true, but perhaps you could sit down with your clients and find out, take a client intake, find out what motivates them or how they're influenced or how they would write it, and then charge them, because maybe they don't have time. If I'm the vice president of Delta, I probably don't have tons of time to be sitting down writing them, or at least I would say that.
Actually, the VP of Delta, Senior VP of Delta does write his own cards. But it's a good point. I just don't think it's in keeping with my objective to write it, because my objective is to increase the gratitude in people's lives. And to do that, you really have to focus on it yourself. However, I wouldn't rule it out. And thanks for the suggestions. And you said you liked the product, but as she pointed out, would you buy it?
Question on your right, Donna. Right back here, LaDonna.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes. Yes?
To your right, over here.
Oh, okay.
I'm wondering how you got connected with Delta and got that endorsement, and how do you approach those major corporations?
I have some personal connections. That's how I did it. It's all about networking. That's why I'm out here today. That's why I'm traveling all over trying to get speaking engagements. It's about who you know and how you know them and building relationships. And I have a relationship with them from years ago. Yeah. Next question?
Another question here to your right.
Okay, thank you.
LaDonna, what do you sell at the Bentonville Farmers Market this Saturday besides thank you, gratitude?
The note cards
Do
are
we all come there?
Yeah, great. The note cards are all Ozark photographs by Ozark photographers. So that's how I got into Bentonville, was through selling my note cards. So I'm going to sell the note cards, but I'm also going to have the kits there because the note cards are part of the kits, and hopefully sell some of the kits also. But this is a primary product at the farmers market. Thank you.
We have a question here on your left.
Okay.
I agree with the person a couple of questions back in that as a president of a company myself, it's very difficult for me to take the time to think about writing notes, although, and I understand your thought of people actually getting into it, but there's something to be said about the thought of having someone like you do the writing for it and knowing it's getting done, as opposed to the thought of doing it myself and knowing it's not going to get done. So
true.
It's something to consider maybe in making this more of a marketable product.
Yeah, that's true. And you're right, I probably will have to reconsider that aspect of the business. So I'm taking that under advisement, and I appreciate both of your suggestions and your input. That's very helpful. Next.
We've got watch out, Milton. We've got another question for you on the right, LaDonna.
Okay.
It's more of a comment. There was a leadership podcast that I listened to from a guy named Andy Stanley in Atlanta, and it's phenomenal. And he had a two-part interview with Frank Blake, who was the CEO of Home Depot. And he wrote, I think it was his goal, if I'm not mistaken, 100 thank you notes a month. He was the CEO of a 40,000 employee enterprise. I think it becomes a priority for the individual to write them. So I don't know if I like the idea of basically outsourcing the writing, but I looked in the material, and if you could put some templates of ideas or thoughts or formats of notes that could be written, that could be personalized, but just have either an outline or a general format that someone could use as a basis for a note to make it more, I guess, easier to write those.
Actually, I do have those in the back of the book. It's thank you note examples. I have anywhere from 6 to 12 in the back of the book that give you examples that you could, templates basically that you can use. I probably should add more. And so, to the point of writing them for people or not writing them, it's true, as the lady pointed out over here, that it's better to send them than not send them at all. And you do have to think about it. If you're going to send them to someone, you have to think about you would have to tell me what you're going to say. And so there would be a small amount of gratitude in feelings of thankfulness or gratefulness that you're experiencing during that experience. So, but my preference would be for the people to write their own.
Question to your left over here?
Yeah.
I just want to give a testimonial to say that I personally know that gratitude works. I used to be a spiritual leader of a church, and we did something similar to where we did it through the month of November, where every day we were challenged to write a thank you card to somebody on our list, and we gave them a template, mother, father, sister, and we actually had relationships healed by the power of gratitude. So I personally commend you for what you're doing. Whatever the business model is, you know, it's irrelevant to me because I know that what you're doing is making good in the world, and I think that you're going to be successful with that attitude. So I just want to commend you and really applaud you personally. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
Question to your right.
Yes, sir.
Did I miss the price point, and how was the price determined? And do you have a fundraiser program for nonprofits?
Okay, your first question, the price point. I canvassed a number of people and got some advice from people who do mainly consulting for businesses and such. So the business product, the first two to your employees and to your coworkers is $49.95, retail online. I do offer the intro price, and the price you're getting today I think is $37.50 if you go online and order it. With a Grateful Heart is $44.95. Now, to your nonprofit question, I am in the process of, right now I'm an LLC, but I'm also going to form a different corporation that is a nonprofit, 501c3, and at that point, I will be looking for grants and for contributions. I didn't share this, but I'm looking at doing a crowdfunding for my kids' book. Once I get that 501c3, I think I can raise money based on what I've seen online on what they're funding through crowdfunding. I'm working on building my, my social media presence so that I can have a good base to do that crowdfunding for the kids' book. So, thank you.
Question on your left.
Yes.
Hi, LaDonna. Nice job. There's a lot of power in this, as several people have said. I'm wondering, when you're thinking more on the corporation side, if you've thought of more of kind of a turnkey consulting situation that would probably have higher revenue for you. It would allow you to get in and maybe continue to work with some of those companies as well.
That's really what my LLC is. It's LG Consulting and Training. And that is what I'm basically offering is for as long as they want, it's a monthly fee, or they can subscribe to it for 6 months or a year for me to come in on a regular basis and meet with their staff and help them stay on track with the program. So, but if you have some other ideas in addition to that, I would love to hear them.
LaDonna, thank you so much. One final question for you. What can we as a community do to help you?
Well, as you can tell, I need help with marketing, improving my sales marketing platform. Right now, I'm struggling with social media and where I spend my time. There's a ton of people out there who want to help you with social media. They charge various prices, but I've got to know that I've got a good return from what they're offering. And so far, they don't, they want me to spend the money, but they can't guarantee me anything more than I can do myself at this point. I'm always looking for speaking opportunities. Like I said, I will come up here to Kansas City. I'd love to, I speak to Rotaries, Kiwanis, all the civic organizations. I don't necessarily sell my product during the speech, but I do ask that I'm able to offer it afterwards for those that are interested. I'm doing some retreats, some CEUs for professionals on gratitude. And professional organizations, networks, any of those that you'd like for me to speak to, I would be happy to, like I said, schedule a series. Thinking about retail opportunities, it's been suggested that I find a distributor, and I'm also thinking about licensing the product. So if you have anything that you can help, any advice, any direction you can give me with any of these, I would really appreciate it.
Thank you, LaDonna.
Thank you.
Great job. Okay, moving right along. Just really quick, if you've got one of the announcement sheets, please make sure you take a look at that. The Co-working Wednesdays is today at the ECJC. The Amajoni Urban Winery has got its first ever quarterly happy hour coming up. So all of that information, the Hammer Space Open House, Lean Labs Innovation Workshop, and Building Financial Models that win investors at the ECJC, all of that information is on the handout, so please make sure you grab one. So quick question, who's here for the first time today? If you're here for the first time and not one of the organizers, please stand up for us so we can see you. Let's give them a round of applause for coming. All right, now, take your seats. Who's been here 10 times or more? Raise your hand. 10 times or more. All right, I'm gonna ask you right there. Yeah, you, come on up here for a minute. Come on up. As a special way to say thank you to some of the 1 million cuppers that have come back and just supported us time and time again, we'd like to welcome you to the 1 Million Cups Mug Club. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Hey, I'm Lauren Caldwell, and I work for Casey SourceLink. Hey. And I also own my own business, which I was inspired by all the entrepreneurs here. Oh, and why do I come here? Oh, sorry, my business is CaseyAssistant.com. But I come here because you guys are so inspiring, and you guys just make me want to keep working, and it's very awesome for Wednesday mornings. Awesome.
Thank you. Welcome to the Mug Club. So we're going to keep things moving with our next presenter. Huh? What's up? Oh, Startup Weekend. We've got a special announcement. Who's making that for us? Are we here? Startup Weekend? All right. Maybe not today. Okay, so 2020 Adventures. We want to welcome Spencer Carlson to the stage. 2020 Adventures connects international travelers with local travel advisors. Spencer, come on up. Welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me? It's on? It's good? All right. And my name is Spencer Carlson. My startup is 2020 Adventures, and we are building the Airbnb for international travel. How we're doing that is connecting you, the traveler, with local experts around the world so that you have the best feedback from their hindsight of their travels to help you with the planning and also with the execution and support of your trip. So just a brief history about me. When I graduated from UMKC with a degree in biology, I didn't want to get into the career world just yet. I wanted to go and travel myself. So I went to Kenya to volunteer. I went to Nairobi. I taught at a school to some elementary kids for a month, and then I went to Mombasa on the Indian Ocean coast, and also went on safari in the Maasai land. When I was in the safari, I met the local tribesmen. Here's them teaching me how to make fire with wood. I also got to see how they live in their village in the huts, and it just totally transformed the way that I saw the world. I connected with them so much because I got to see the local way of life through them. So I came back to the States and decided that I wanted to get as much of this experience around the world as I possibly could. So I set out for a around the world trip. As you can see, I traveled a lot of Europe, through the Middle East and Africa, through Southeast Asia, and on to Australia, where I lived and worked for a little while before coming back to the States. It was 30 countries in all. It took me a year to do, and it totally changed my life forever. On the way, you can go to Paris and you can see the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre, and you should do those things, but why not also go to an underground jazz cellar where it's only locals there, only Parisians, and see the local lifestyle? Why not go to the countryside and ask the locals what to do when they say, maybe go climb up that hill to that 13th century abandoned castle up there and see what the landscape looks like. When you go to Bosnia, why not ask the locals to show you around so they can tell you their version of what the Bosnian War was like for their family and them going through it? Why not play your favorite sport with that local person as well? When you go to Greece, why not have a local person take you out to lunch and order their favorite foods and pick up the tab as well? And why not have them then show you around to the Acropolis and tell you about their history that they learned from school? When you go to Egypt, why not have a local take you to the pyramids so he can tell you and hook you up with his friend who owns this camel so you can ride around the sands and then take you inside the pyramids so you can then lay in Khufu's tomb, who is the pharaoh that built the Great Pyramids of Giza. Why not go to his church, or his, not church, why not go to his religious service so you can see the authenticity of it? When you go to Thailand, again, why not meet with the locals? Why not go to a Buddhist retreat in the jungle and be silent for a week while you listen to a monk teach you about all of his philosophies? You know, these are my experiences. This is everything, these are a small snapshot of what I did over this year, and it totally connected me with so many people around the world. I had such amazing experiences. The ones that really transformed my life, though, were not the ones that I Googled or that I found through TripAdvisor. They're the ones that I connected with the locals on, the guys that took me out, that showed me their city, their country, and really inspired me and connected me with them. So that's the common thread that really made this magic happen, was the local people. So I started thinking, why aren't more people traveling like this? A lot of Americans don't even travel, period. And the ones that do travel, you see them all the time, and they're usually in a gaggle, a big group following a person with a little mic, and they all hear the same thing over and over again. Why aren't we reaching out to the locals? There's three main issues that I hear. It's too expensive, I'm worried about my safety, and I just don't know how to do it, even if I wanted to. So I started looking around and looking at my own experiences, and there's no platform that really addresses these three things until now. So what I've designed is, this is a snapshot of 2020adventures.com. What you can do is search around the website, go through our Explore section, and look through our advisors. These are local advisors that I've personally vetted through a 3-step process to make sure that they are leaders in their community, they actually know what they're talking about, that they don't have a negative history, and then we can bring them on board so you know that everybody that you find on our site is actually going to give you the perspective that you want when you're going to your destination. They're going to be able to connect with you, and they're going to be a safe option to help you do your adventure. There's another snapshot from the website. These are people that you'll meet if you go and look through. You can see we have people all over the world, through Europe, Africa, Australia, and onward. For example, Henny is someone that I met while I was volunteering in Africa, and she lives in Bali. So if anybody's going to Bali or wants to go on a yoga retreat, there's some people that you can speak with. It's this easy. All you have to do is go to the site, explore around. You'll find people that you can get inspired by some of the trips that they've designed for the places that they've been to before or that they live in, and then you can connect with them directly. You don't have to pay anything up front. You just start connecting with these people, and also logistics experts that can save you a lot of money on your flights and get you connected to the destinations you're going to, so you can spend a larger chunk of your money while you're there. So you can start working with these people automatically, and we don't charge anything, and go on your thing. So this is what we've done this year. I'm part of the Beta Blocks family, and they've helped me launch to get to this point, and we are definitely on a large upscale right now. We also have a lot of money in our prospects in our pipeline. So definitely check out Beta Blocks if you guys have an interest or have an idea for a startup. So with that, we'll just go to questions.
Spencer, thank you so much. We'll start with our panelists.
Hi, Spencer.
Hi.
I'm a huge fan. I've done this before. Maybe you've heard of Tours by Local.
Yes.
So I did
By Locals?
Africa with Tours by Local, and then I did a weekend in Paris with my 3 kids using the same kind of service. So I totally understand it, get it, and I think it's awesome. So let's talk about how you're going to grow your business.
Sure.
Tell me what your monetization plan is. So how are you making money? And then tell me how you plan to market it.
Sure. We make money right now by, first we were looking at a model similar to tours by locals or trips by locals, where if I'm right, then they just make a certain amount, maybe $30 or so for a trip or a tour that they kind of guide you around their destination. Is that right?
They take a percentage. So it was about $200 a day to have a guide.
Okay.
And you paid for that through their site, and then I'm assuming that their contracted employee only got a percentage of that.
Sure. Yeah, we were looking at something similar to that, but now what we've started to do is to do the entire bookings for the whole trip. So when you talk to your advisor, they actually design a personalized itinerary just for you. So they're not a local guide, though you have that opportunity for them to be your guide. So that's a differentiating factor. But we do all the bookings, so from the flights to the accommodation, the transfers, the lodging, we do all that as well. And we add a commission on top of that. So we get a portion of that, and the advisors get a portion of that as well.
So it's really a travel agency, right? So you're a travel agency that's taking a cut for the bookings, which I think is smart. I could have done that all in the same place instead of multiple sites.
Right.
And then you're also providing the experience when they get there. How are you going to market it? How am I going to find out about you?
A lot, like I mentioned, a lot of our advisors that I've curated, they already have a community of people. They're already basically doing the same thing. I've got them all into this platform now. So they all have their own, a lot of our people have a travel blog or an Instagram that's very successful. So they're already marketing to their own community that trusts them and wants their advice already, so they can market themselves.
Well, I just want to go to Germany because the guy you have there is really cute. Just kidding. Good luck.
Philip, yeah, he's on the site.
I saw him.
Yeah.
I looked at your site last time. My husband's used to it. Just go.
So, Spence, I dig this idea, right? I think that there's a solid value proposition that can be had here, which is having someone, or at least my perception here is kind of like having someone when you get off the plane and like the confidence that comes around. Like you want to go to an exotic place, but there's fear, right? There's a ton of fear of going to any exotic place, but like you get off the plane and like Philip's there, right? And he already knows what you want to do, and he's gonna. I mean, who doesn't want to do that, right?
Exactly.
I think the challenge here is communicating in a way that really comes across, and being able to flank the concepts that our brain already understands, right? Like, so do you embrace the idea of, yes, you are a travel agent, and here's why we're different, and what is that differentiation? Like, what's that concrete objective differentiation? And how do you plan to get people to change their behavior from just doing it all through Expedia, right?
Yeah, we actually try to not call ourselves a travel agency. We try to approach it with, this is our differentiating value, that we actually connect you with the person that helps you with all of that in designing your tour, and then we also book it for you.
So I think it's important, if that's the case, you need to be able to define what you are if you aren't a travel agent, because you can't prove a negative, right? You can't say, well, we're not a travel agent, but we do this. Like, you need to really be able to define what it is you're doing, and that way you can actually create a categorical schema in the market and in the mind, and now you really got something that you can market much easier, you can communicate much easier, and start getting traction.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to kind of define our identity in the new travel bookings sort of way.
Can we go ahead and open it up? We good? All right. If you got a question, raise your hand. We'll be coming around with the mics. I see 2 questions over here, so let's start on this side.
So first of all, I think this is a fantastic idea. We're spending more and more money on experiences, and I think that's a great market to get in. I guess my question is kind of a 2-part one. You said kind of, I think, as an elevator pitch, you're the Airbnb for international travel. And I think of Airbnb as more of a facilitation platform, but then, between me and a third party. But it seems like the way that you make your money is more of the way a travel agency makes their money. So I guess, 2 parts. First, how are you able to recruit the people globally to be competitive? You know, if I want to go to Bosnia, or if I want to go to a developing country, how are you able to recruit and vet enough people and experiences to be able to use that monetization method?
Sure. Well, just to start, all you need is one person to really get going. And because I've been to so many countries and I already have a network of people that I've met, that's where we've started, and grown that more organically through that connection, and then also through the vetting process, like I mentioned, just getting one person that we trust enough to put them on the website by the connection through me. I Skype everybody that we put on there. Just another thing I want to hit on is this thing like going to a destination, kind of what Grant was getting at as well. And you can definitely set up the person that you're speaking with to pick you up from the airport and get you around. And that's what I usually prefer to do, though it's not necessary if you don't want to. Something that we're all worried about when we're traveling, especially to developing countries, is our safety. And so just a quick story about when I was in Egypt. I actually did that. I had my local guide pick me up from the airport because I had no idea how to get downtown to where we were staying. And then he actually showed us around. But it wasn't all hunky-dory. It wasn't all riding camels through the sands around the pyramids. I actually got caught up in, potentially got caught up in a riot. I was in the Egyptian Museum, and I started hearing these bangs outside. It was actually some sort of gunfire. There was a riot that broke out. So I was terrified. I was actually scared for my life that they were going to break into the Egyptian Museum and steal all the artifacts, like they just stole Andy Warhol from wherever the first presenter is from. So all these guys came around yelling at us in Arabic, and I had no idea what was going on. But luckily, the guy that picked me up from the airport, that was my host, turned everything around, made sure we were okay, and made sure we were safe. So it actually is a way for people to travel safer as well.
Question in the center.
So I love it. It's an awesome idea. I went to the country of Ghana, and I went on a tour like this, and the tour guide was awesome, didn't speak a lot of English. We just took off across the country, and he took us to a farm with crocodiles, and they threw chicken out there, and the crocodiles came out, and they asked us to pet them and like open their mouths and stuff, and it was terrifying. That is an interesting local experience that I had. How do you vet these people when you're finding them? And I also want to know, how many countries are you in, and how are you going to expand to other countries?
Right, we're in about 40 countries right now. And we've just started with the countries I'm most familiar with, the ones that I've gone to that I have a network. The vetting process goes a little like this. For the people that I don't know, that I reach out to, I find people in a destination that we need to cover, that we're looking to expand to, and then I look into who is doing something that has a community, that is growing their own community base on a social platform or a blog, that they're trusted. They've already proven that they're already trusted by these people that are following them, and it's also a way to market. So I reach out to them, and then we have another process where they have to apply, and I have to, before I even speak to them, I have to look at their professional and social networks and profiles, like LinkedIn and Facebook, and then I have a Skype session with them, so I know that their face actually looks like what they're putting on social media, and they're on. So it's a very extensive process to make sure that they are who they say they are. And going forward, when we need to expand more rapidly into different destinations, we'll need to automate more, which is something I need help with going forward in the next second half of this year, so we can have a more automated process that allows us to filter through more people and do some sort of background checking.
Question over here to your left.
There's lots of people out there that travel worldwide. I'm not one of them, so I don't know this market. Unlike Laura, I don't know other people that are playing in here. But just in this presentation alone, you've talked about different reasons why world travelers would be attracted to a service. You talked about, Grant suggested, well, maybe they want to have a concrete plan on what they're doing. I heard a question, or I heard consideration to their security needs. Maybe they want a spontaneous experience. You know, maybe they're planning for a family or some type of group and they want to be able to make sure it's conducive for that entire group. My question to you is, I think it's an interesting idea, but as you launch this venture, are you focusing on one segment of kind of this world travel industry, or are you trying to bring all of them together at once?
The answer to that question is that we are appealing to anyone that wants to travel internationally, that also wants to interact in the local atmosphere in any way. So people that just want an experience just want somebody to book their Louvre tickets and this sort of experience. We're not going to be able to add any value to those people's times. So the beauty of this is that we connect you with the expert on the ground, and they can tailor whatever you want to do to your needs. So if you are a family going, they can say, you should stay in this area of the city. Like I had to do last week, I had some clients ask me about Barcelona, where to stay. If you're a family versus some younger kids versus wanting to stay in a hostel, they're gonna know those areas, so they'll be able to help you with that. So there's also a large range of what they can do to add to those services. Did that answer your question? Kind of.
Got another question here in the front.
Good morning.
Morning.
So 2 questions. On safety, when I fly somewhere and I get off the plane in Vienna, I want to know I can trust that guide. Do you do background checks? I'm not just speaking of the safety around you, but the safety of the guides. And the second thing, in the profile, you mentioned you could shop for someone that would act as your guide in whatever country. When I go to Vienna, I don't want to go to 20 churches. I want to go to the Vienna woods for a wine and schnitzel night or something like that.
Perfect.
And not every guide has the same interests I do. How do I make a reasoned suggestion for my trip?
Sure. So the answer to your first question about the safety is that it is actually safer when you have someone. If you just rock up to Vienna or any other city, like I've done many times, and you have no idea how to get from the airport or the train station to your accommodation, or you use any other service, you have no idea who that person is. When you go with 2020 Adventures and you actually connect with your person, you're actually going to speak with that person before. You're going to know that they've been through a vetting process, and in the future, when we do have more technology, we'll be able to do, like the vetting process, we have a 3-step process that I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, where they have to apply. I have to look at their social and their professional links. I have to have a Skype session with them. They have to have a large community, such as 10, 20, 50,000 people that are already following them, that they've already built before I reach out. So they're organically already making their own thing happen. And to your second question, not everybody is going to, like, imagine if somebody's coming to Kansas City and they want to go to a barbecue joint and they want to know where to go. We're all going to have our own unique suggestions to them, but we're probably going to give them a more localized answer than them going to TripAdvisor or Google. Because I know where I go to eat barbecue, those don't pop up when you go searching for that. And when we scale up, we'll have more than one advisor for each destination. So when you look into going to Austria, then you'll have a couple of different people that you could probably find somebody that's going to be more along the lines of what you're looking to get out of your trip.
Question in the center.
I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Bear with me.
Sure.
Okay. I'm blank.
Too many questions. Just do one.
No,
Start with
okay. This is just coming from, okay. What market is doing the most traveling right now?
Are you talking?
Worldwide.
Worldwide. Who's traveling, like from the States? Who's traveling?
What market is traveling worldwide the most right now?
Europeans and Australians travel the most out of.
Okay, so let's look at generations.
Okay.
What generations are doing the
More
most traveling
people,
right now?
Yes, you have your baby boomers who are traveling a lot because they just got their pensions and retirement, and then you have the younger kids who are saying, I'm going to take more of a gap year. And then you also have the young professionals. But the baby boomers are the number one, and the young professionals are number two. But the largest growing market are the younger kids.
The reason I ask that is because when somebody asks you, who is your market, this is really going to help you get that niche down. She mentioned, how do I know somebody's gonna fit me? So what you wanna do, I'm looking at two business models here when you were doing your presentation, really what it comes down to, and you're losing money out by saying that you make your money on the travel side. What you need to do, in the way that I see it is, or a thought, you have two business models, break them up. You have one that's a travel agency, and then you have one where you're like the Uber or Airbnb. When I go on your website to get a guide, where am I at that point? Did I already book my flight?
Some people have, most people have not. And the best answer is that you have not purchased anything. You have an idea of where you want to go.
Do you have numbers on that? Statistics, a way for you to capture that information when I go to your website?
Of who's booked a flight already?
Yes.
Out of our clients so far, I'd say 90%, 95% of them have not booked a flight yet.
So your website is very powerful. Your website can do work for you that you don't have to do.
Yeah.
So when somebody goes to your website, the way that you figure out whether they've booked a flight or not is you ask. You also want to find out, okay, going back to her, my mind is going in a million miles per hour, but going back to her, I want to connect with somebody who likes me, that is like me. Do your locals have a voice? Can they blog? Can they post pictures, their likes, their dislikes, the areas that they like to travel to, so that when I'm looking for somebody in the area, I can connect with the people who are going to the places, who are taking pictures of and doing the things that I would like to do?
Yeah, most of our advisors are actually content creators. So they have their own professional blog, professional Instagram. They have a huge following. That is being built out as we speak. On the top right, there's the blog. It's not linked up to what we're curating right now. You can go and look at each individual's profile. When you look at their profile, you'll see that the trips that they have created as a template for you to look at and browse around. You can look at the blog posts that they've used that we pull from their professional blog. You'll be able to look at their photos from their local areas. You can kind of feel what the person's like, what you can expect from connecting with them, and what they're going to be able, if they're going to be able to help you or not.
All right, we got to finish it up with the last big question. What can we as a community do to help you, Spencer?
There's a few things. First, like our number one priority going forward right now is to be able to scale properly, and that needs some better technology. So anybody that would like to talk about or is interested in helping out with building some technology to help automate or can connect me with anybody that would be interested in doing that, I would love to speak. And also, we want to know what the biggest trends are this year. I have some partnerships going on with Cuba right now. It's going to be a huge market for us, I understand, as well as safaris to Africa. But I want to know where people in Kansas City really want to travel. So if you could just email me or hit me up on Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat. We've got a really cool Snapchat going on. We're getting some really good feedback from that. So you can see destinations around the world. I turn it over to our advisors so you can check out what they're seeing and what you can expect. So let me know where you want to travel, and then we can aggregate and see what some of the trends are.
All right, big round of applause for Spencer.
Thank you.
Spencer.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that brings us to the end of our Wednesday 1 Million Cups. First, before we all get up and run out of here, on behalf of everyone over there, Stephanie, Courtney, Milton, Catherine, Anna, who's not paying attention, Landon, who's also not paying attention, should I just call him out? Bradley, who's also not paying attention. We all just want to thank everyone who comes here every other week, weekly, even if you show up monthly. Thank you so much for supporting this. The amount of people's lives that have been changed through 1 Million Cups, me personally, is just gigantic. So huge thank you on behalf of all of us for coming out, supporting, and helping all these entrepreneurs in Kansas City. Whew. You guys are gonna get me choked up. All right, next week we have mymajors.com and Tune Takeout. Again, thank you to all the 1 Million Cups organizers who flew in town. It's great to have you here, and see you guys next week. Thank you.